All right, check, check. Looking good. How you doing, folks? Good to see you. It's been a little while, man. Whew. A lot has happened since, but we'll kind of talk our way through it as we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started as people start coming in. That'd be good. But let's get to it. There it is. Let me check the positioning of that. Pretty good. Bring it over just a tad. Boom. There we go. All right, going to be working on diamond painting pens, as the title has said. Yes. So these are the ones that we're going to be working on. They are Cosmic Dreams. It's a kind of a different variation of the Cosmic Sparkle that Abby's done in the past, but they did quite well, and they're really nice looking. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Boom. I'll show you some other things that I've been working on as well later as we work through it, get some people in and whatnot. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Need my pliers, and then lastly the bushings, which Brian Nikitas, that's your guy, the guy for bushings. He'll probably hop in at some point, I imagine. But if he doesn't, that's all right too. It's been a little while. Shoot, I think it's been since like Valentine's Day, maybe, since somewhere around there. So quite a while. It's a chilly day here, and got the heat going, and it's definitely worked wonders. If you can see the insulation in the back, if you were working in a garage workshop, don't underestimate the power of like a 1/4 inch piece of this insulation. And I measured this, the garage flats, and it fit like perfectly in there. So it's a big roll, and so I just cut them to length, and they can kind of move a little bit, but that's all right. Anyway, I'm gonna get to it. It's gonna be chill. It's gonna be a chill day. Won't be a long one. Yeah, it'll be a chill day. Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Been a little while. How are the Olympics? The only one that I remember off the top is the hockey, and then the Canadians were like, "Well, the team played better." Like what? U.S. won. But you know, I guess that's how it goes, huh? And I think they were basing that off of shots on goal. Um, but you know, you know how it goes. You watched every second. I did not. I probably, man, I didn't watch much of them, or many of them rather. But it was kind of funny. But last I saw, at least, the U.S. was not winning on the gold medal count. But I don't know if that stayed that way. Second on golds. Hey man, that's good. That means that we're the first loser. I'm just kidding. I was talking to Abby a little bit about that and how I wish somehow you were able to take the science out of all of it. But, you know, the science kind of makes it even more, I don't know. I guess in my mind it's kind of more exploitative, because if you know something to enhance these people that are training that another country doesn't know, it's like a advantage. But, you know, there's no redoing that. But yeah, the mate's coming up. That's pretty cool. You ready for that? Are you getting ready for that? Probably getting ready for it, huh? You're just never ready enough. Hey, that's good. At least you were proactive. You'd probably be a good person. You were probably a good person in school to work on projects with. I'm a procrastinator. I'm a procrastinator. You'll be there either way. I will not be this year. Got some. We're going to be doing a different show instead. Yeah, I'll be working. We're considering going to another pen show this year. I got back a couple days ago. She got in pretty late, so we've been home for 2 days. Today's the second full day. Oh, you done some lives, Brian? Dang, man. Am I subscribed to you? Let me look. I gotta make sure that I am. I don't watch much of turning related things, which is kind of weird to say, I guess, but excuse me. Let's see. What? I'm not subscribed? Now I am. There we go. I got you now. Oh. Sorry about that, bro. Man. What type of stuff are you streaming? Oh, Bushing's right on. All right. I'll be here at least for another couple hours. Yeah, these are looking nice. Also, they're finishing really good. Well, off of the tool. Oh, you know, oh, hold the phone. That's got to go back on. There's a little spot right here. I thought it was just a noodle left over, but nope. There we go. All right, we got it. Now we got to balance everything else out now. There it is. It's so weird because sometimes when I start live streaming, I'll have these ideas that I want to start like that I want to make a video on. And you know, I probably should just do them, but man, just videos, man. High effort, minimal payoff. But, you know, it's one of those things where, well, you just keep making more videos and then eventually, maybe, but it's a tough balancing act because on one hand, it's like, I'm not a content creator like that. So it's weird, you know? But I watched a pretty good video of somebody talking about like the woodworking niche, and everything is just so rapid that you just want to see it happen, be done with it, and then move on. But I kind of refuse to do that because there's, you know, on one hand, yeah, you want to get the exposure, but on the other hand, it's like, man, you're wanting to build those relationships and stuff. So, in a quick flip, how do you build a relationship with anybody? We're not talking like a crazy relationship, just something that's, I guess, more consistent. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing. Because on one hand, I would make videos that, you know, were, I guess, based off of some of the lives. I could use the lives, but then what do you do there? Because, I mean, what you create is also the type of people you attract in some cases, right? But on the other hand, the shorts, some people just live on shorts, right? As far as like the whole social media game aspect of it. And, you know, I think successful channels, what they do is they make the shorts and then they use that as a way to like kind of tease some of the stuff that they do, I guess. And so on one hand, that's how you attract more people, because on shorts you get a lot more eyes a lot faster. But you know. But I'm just not a flavor of the month kind of YouTuber, I guess. Man, it is hot. Probably should be dual streaming, but I didn't set it up that way. That's okay. Come on, John. What is your deal? Why can't you get that right? Man. Use a little flake right there. We'll see how much that is sticking out. Alright, that's not too bad. Imploding star there. Leave that alone for now. Yeah, go. Feel like my hands don't want to work like they're supposed to. Come on, hands. I did take a little bit of a turning break, which is, well, from turning heads. Once we did our big push for the pin show, I just kind of took a little bit off. A little bit of time off from turning. But getting back into it, it's like, come on, hands. Work. But also I was trying out different tools too. So that's another thing, I reckon. Ooh. Okay. Have y'all ever seen this tool? It's called a skew gouge, a skew chisel gouge. It's a Crown Tools. I don't know if you can actually patent this, but you know, I bought it because I was looking at the profile of, you know, the carbide, and it's very similar shape, which is kind of interesting. So sometimes when I use a skew and I do like coves and whatnot, I really have a hard time getting into the well, dealing with the high points and the low points, really. Of it. So, you know, I use that tool. I'm doing a lot more lines than I needed to. But, yeah, that's a SOOO gouge. It's a pretty cool tool. I kind of hated it when I first got it, but, you know, continue working with it and feeling it out and seeing kind of how it handles, you know, it makes a difference. Obviously, if you spend more time with something, then you'll become more familiar with it. But yeah, that particular tool, I didn't know it existed initially, so I was trying to make a modified version of it where I kind of made, I guess, changed up of I ground one of the other stainless steel ones I have, or high-speed steel, not stainless steel, high-speed steel. I tried that out, but I think that it really just needs to be a better grind for it, or a better way to grind it, because it kind of behaves like a SOOO. Like, you come in, this tool rest is a little low right now for this, but you come in just like you would any other tool, and then you go until you catch it, and then in some ways it's kind of like the carbide, right? But then when you're actually like cutting and you're using the actual bevel, you come in really, and then you can just kind of follow it. So it's pretty neat. I'm not going to do a whole lot on the resin because it makes it go quick. But yeah, I like it. The same thing. And then you just kind of rotate it towards the direction you're trying to go. So it's kind of like the bowl gouge. Can anybody tell me what the difference is between a bowl gouge and a... Well, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. We can get somebody to tell me the difference. So from my understanding, this is a bowl gouge that has a really bad grind on it. If you give too much love on the tip of it, it comes off, which, you know, I learned the hard way. Over and over again, because I'm still getting practice on grinding. But then you have, you know, the regular like roughing gouges. So the difference between a roughing and spindle gouge is what? You know, I kind of wondering about that. So like that's a roughing gouge, and then this is what? Like the profiles are more steep, progressively, well, not more steep, but less of a concave there. So I could, you know, come in here and then ride the bevel, come down, then you start getting some traction, then you just kind of go with it, right? So that's more or less the principle I've been following with the SOOO, where you bevel down and then you kind of point at the opposite, the back end of the handle, and then you just start going that way. And you're kind of like, in my mind, you're kind of shoveling, but I don't really know the major differences between them. I mean, other than the shape. And then the weird tool that I made that was kind of like the scoochy gouge. I was hitting it with a grinder, but I kind of made one before I realized it was already a thing. But you know, it kind of has a spoon shape to it, and then the bevel, so it works. Again, my tool rest is not a good position for this, but I have to be way low. But you're kind of doing a similar thing, but you know, I'm not great at getting a nice smooth bevel, so it's kind of hard. Yeah, I need to reposition this. Yeah, little chip out there. What happens when you catch an edge? It'll kind of chip it out, unfortunately. So, not that big a deal. This is going to get pretty deep, but this one is so hard to sharpen. And because of that, I just kind of leave it over here and I'll revisit it later. I even have the jig to do it, but man, it's a real pain. And the reason it's a little different is because this tool's a little taller, right? And I don't usually ride the bevel on it, not the whole bevel, unless I come across like this. I'll make contact and then I'll kind of dip it down and then go across. There's another really cool one that I got recently. So this is another just round carbide, but it's on a steel bar, a steel round bar. So I actually kind of like it. It rotates nice, but you know, it is one of those where you got to be very mindful of how you're cutting or how you're turning, because if you let the angle drop, then you can actually chip out with it. And the other thing I don't actually like about this is this part right here. So I'm gonna probably take it to the grinder and kind of make this match the carbide angle here. So it'll be kind of like this. But my concern with that is the actual screw. But a couple of things that I'm thinking about too is the screw doesn't come all the way through, which is great. So it gives me more to kind of take off. I don't need to take it all the way off. I just need this heel here. I need that a little less because it's too much right now. And it makes it so I can't, for example, I can't really get into here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's hard to get into the other grooves because the back end, so this part is actually interfering with the material on the sides where I'm trying to cut. So it's a pretty cool tool. I dig it. I'm in the process of making handles for it. So I haven't made a tool handle before, and this is what it came on. And I don't like it very much. And I made one last night that looks like this. So I kind of modified the handle. Well, I mean, it started as a big square blank, but I usually hold the tool like this. So when I'm turning, I hold it like that. So I'll come in, and then I'm able to like rotate. And then up here, I'm going to keep it big because it makes it so your inputs are a little less drastic. So when you're doing really small stuff, it is beneficial for that. Yeah. So if you're turning something, I mean the same thing kind of applies in a different manner, but it still applies to the sizes of things. So for example, if I'm holding like right here, I do just a little rotation. It's more of a rotation because it's smaller than here. I do the same and I don't get quite the same amount. So the larger circumference, the diameter of it, the less it actually rotates, if that makes sense. So I come in and I got it like this, I can go back and forth, but if I'm back here and I do the same movement, my angle changes quite a bit more. So I think I'm probably a little biased to the Easy Wood Tool handle because I've used it for 6 years, but I like the design, but I just wanted to make it a little bit more specific. Like this serves its purpose great, there's no problem. Usually I hold it here, or I'll hold it all the way up here, or I'll hold it sometimes even back here if I need a lot of leverage, but typically I'll hold it like this. So this is pretty much how I always hold the tool, and it just gives my thumb and index finger like opposite pressure, and then it also makes it so when I rotate, I've kind of built the whole muscle memory to know how much to rotate, and it's kind of an important thing when you're making that first contact. So once you get comfortable with the tool, you'll kind of know the angle that you need to go into it in order to not have it like cant, because I guess the other thing too is I pretty much always, unless I'm going straight in, when I'm turning, I'll cut it and it'll be more like it'll kind of behave a little bit more like a skew in that regard, but it's certainly not a skew. But then when I try to apply the same thing to the skew, it doesn't quite work the same. So it's a little frustrating. And then also doing these high and low points, the peaks and valleys, or whatever you want to call them, it's really challenging to, at the very lowest point and then the very highest point of things, of these kinds of shapes, is what I have a lot of trouble with the skew, especially. But it's one of those, I don't know, iconic turning tools that if you're familiar with turning, then you've most likely at least heard of the skew. You might not have ever used it, but there's a lot of videos out there too. Thomas Love, Worth the Effort. A lot of people have done videos on this skew, and they'd be better than what mine would be, because I definitely have not logged anywhere close to the mileage that they have. So you won't be seeing a skew guide from me until I get a lot more practice on it, with it. But I'll use it every once in a while. especially when I'm turning wood, because I think you can get a good finish off of it, off of steel tools. But I think there's also a skill differential in some cases because, well, I've done some shorts on that where I'm turning with a skew and I'm turning with the carbide, and I think it makes a big difference on how you use it. So the tool is capable of giving you a similar finish. But going back and forth to different tools, you got to kind of change your mindset as far as how to approach the material. And that's something that I also kind of struggle with. Like, I know, but sometimes because I built that muscle memory with 6 years of using carbide, it's kind of hard to go back to, you can only cut on the downslope. You can only, and it's not only, right, but it's definitely better to cut wood on the downslope. But that's really, it's a lot of moving, and it honestly, it's really just not as efficient as like a carbide for resin, at least. Because carbide, you can go back and forth, but I'd like to see that happen with some steel, or the skew, I guess, the skew specifically. But yeah, trying to get that thing to work right with me is a real challenge. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream and switch it to where we got vertical and horizontal. And that's just because I want to maximize the live, and the intent of the live is to, you know, find more like-minded people. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, restart the stream with vertical and horizontal. So just a moment.